Heat waves. The watery, the sun evaporating the water, the light evaporating the water. And there's a boat. Oh, here we got a boat. Looks like he's heading out. And here's one heading in. I want to get the big boat going out. It looks like it might be a shrimp boat. I'm not sure. Here. Look at that. See, with it being cloudy, I can go underneath that mirror. Oh, there's a boat heading out here. See if I can find them. Just the way they're coming off my camera. Oh, go back a little. There we go.
Oh, yes? Go ahead. Go up to the balcony. They're right up over there.
I'm going shrimping in heaven.
Oh, okay, we're coming. Yeah, we got room.
There's my target. This right here is it's 8 o'clock in the morning, April 3rd. And there's that channel marker. That's the last one in Bayport. Sun's coming up, but you can see the reflection of these channel markers in the water. That's what I wanted to show. So where's the actual water line at out there? Okay. I'm going to keep taking video of this. Like every hour, every half hour, I'll let you know. Okay. So that is one of the channel markers, the last channel marker at Bayport. And this is at full zoom. Okay, there's the bird rack again. It's 8:42. And my camera is shaking a little bit. I have to find a way to sturdy up my tripod a little bit when it's windy. It's not the tripod that's moving, it's the camera sitting on my motorized cam. But I'm going to show you how the angle of light is, changes that water line out there. Okay, that's good. That's on infinity setting. Blowing. Okay. It's 9:18. And there's your bird rack again. It's not my tripod that's wiggling, it's all the stuff I got on the top of my tripod causing it to wiggle a little bit. See how the reflection is of the green sign is starting to disappear. It's 9:33. Off these clouds or off these waves. That's a bird rack, alright. There's birds sitting out there on it. And it's 9:41. Now you don't see the reflection of that green because it's the angle of the light that's hitting it. The higher up the sun goes, changes the horizon line, this water line, it changes. You can barely see the reflection of that green sign now. Okay? And it is again 10:41. So I'm going to shut it off and then we'll check it again at 11 o'clock. Show you how this water line's changing. It's not going to be a high tide today. Let's see, low tide was at 6:02. It's only a 1.84 high tide. And let's see, high tide is at 11:55, and it's 11:11 right now. And then it'd be low tide again at 6:08 p.m. But you don't have very big strong tides today. There's my tripod. It's 11:30. I'd rather see somebody with a gun on their hip than some of these other cops that brutality, you know. They show them all the time on YouTube. You can go on there and put in police brutality. You'd be surprised what you see. It's like, wow. And they get away with it. The judges justify it. Sitting like that's terrible.
Northern Maine, so, and I hunt. So, but I don't register anything.
Yeah.
Anybody that buys one and registers is crazy.
Yep.
I say buy them from a private person because up there, you have to register everything about it.
Well, the reason why they want you to register is so they know where to go to jail. No, neither am I. Matter of fact, I'd be more justice to the world, because I defend the helpless. Yes, you gotta be careful nowadays. And who the helpless actually are. Wow, look how dark and heavy I got up to this. I've got some up close sunsets. Most of these were filmed standing on a seawall right at the Bayport fishing pier. The seawall sticks up a little bit. My camera is usually up at about 5 feet, and this particular shot here was taken from the little park off to the side where I'm closer to the water actually. So you know, you got to pay attention to detail in a lot of these videos. And like I say, I filmed this bird rack mainly from two places, either at the fishing pier at Bayport or at the little park that they have there, which is actually a little bit closer by maybe a couple hundred yards to the bird rack. But what I find is this horizon calculator has to be wrong. And I'll tell you why. Because when I'm standing on the seawall and the tide is way out, okay, and I'm videotaping this bird rack from a low tide standing on the seawall, I should actually be able to see further. But it doesn't work out that way. It's always seems to be cut off for some reason or another, not far past this bird rack or well in front of this bird rack. Now, when you get out there farther in the distance, trying to judge the distance and how much water you're actually seeing is very hard to do, because at points you'll see that there's water well beyond this bird rack on high tides. So again, that horizon calculator, you don't even see where the true horizon line is. And in a lot of my videos, I see this. And this is what I try to bring out, to get people to do, is go out and do their own visual observations, whether you film it or whether you just use a pair of binoculars, and you might go out to the same spot, pick out something out there, and view it every day at different times of the day, different times of the season. You'll get many different faces of this bird rack, which is crazy, because science has it that a man so tall can only see so far out on the horizon. Well, that's a bunch of bull. And then two, you're going to see this bird rack in all different shapes and forms, blurred out, which it looks like it's blurry, but this is the atmosphere causing atmospheric conditions, or different atmospheric conditions actually create a different image of this bird rack out on that horizon. And some of these I do use manual focus to try to bring the best focus I can, and some of them I'm using autofocus. Some of them I'm using just the camera alone, and what I do is I zoom out to the bird rack. I use the focus button before I even turn the camera on. I use the focus button to focus on the bird rack, and then hit the record button once I get a good focus. And then, if you look at some of these boats and some of the people on the boat, you'll find some of my videos where I zoom out and you can see the people fishing on their boat, but the boat's cut off. But other ones, the people are the same size, like this right here. These people are the same size, but their boat is not cut off. And that's what I try to bring to people's attention, is how this horizon line is constantly changing. And I do believe that this mirroring effect has a lot to do with that, because even this right here, normally I do not see that other bird rack right there. Normally it is cut off. And in this particular video, I'm actually, like I said, I'm standing closer to the water, which I shouldn't be able to see that. And then to the right, over in the right-hand corner, you see another object, and that is another bird rack even further out there. So during the day, it seems to change on a constant basis. No matter what height I'm at, I even have video from an observation tower that's inland about a mile, maybe a little bit more. I'd have to check it. But the observation tower is about 40 feet high, 45 to 50, somewhere in that range. And there's times where I don't get any better of a distance out there, but then other days I can. So I'll have to bring some of those up too, and put in a video showing this bird rack from the observation tower also. But most of all these were shot in 2016, and I really didn't know what I was observing until I started compiling a lot of observations and then going back and observing my observations. Like I said, this bird rack is much further out, and I do believe it is 8 miles. I have a friend that does an awful lot of fishing out there, and he's told me that that particular bird rack is 8 miles. So how am I getting that, standing on the shore, standing at the edge of the water, and being able to see this bird rack? It doesn't make sense, and that horizon calculator is definitely wrong. Okay, now this one again, when you see that green channel marker on the left hand side of that bird rack, that means I'm standing at the Bayport Park one, not at the fishing pier. And again, look at these other bird racks that are farther out there. How in the world am I seeing this standing on the shore at 5 feet tall? I mean, again, you know, when we go out and observe and you pay attention to your observations, and you know, I am not exactly sure on the distance to that particular little bird rack, but I know that the main bird rack right here is 4 miles from my position, maybe a little bit more. So again, and you can actually see it sitting in the water with a little bit of water further behind it. Now I shoot these at all different times of the day, and again, this one's right at the water level, where I'm 5 feet up. And again, how am I getting that bird rack at 4 miles out? Now, I put a video in on one of my other videos showing Google Earth, showing that bird rack at 4 miles away. So how in the world am I seeing this at 5 feet at, off the water? And again, there was that bird rack, and right there it actually looked like it was being cut off. But I've got other video proof, full videos, and what I'd like to start doing, again, if people would really pay attention to detail in my videos, is start compiling or start putting out videos of, you know, day by day by day, you know, all my videos for that particular day, because sometimes I go out and video in the morning, go home, eat lunch, come back at night, videotape some more. So this one here was at the boat ramp or the fishing pier. I tried to leave some of the audio on here to really help out as far as let you know what I'm saying while I'm filming. So I'm going to try to leave it at that and give you a chance to actually hear what I say in these little clips as I'm filming them. And, you know, like I say, observations show you a lot. And if you don't pay attention to that detail, you miss out on a lot. All right. I might chime in here a little bit again in this video because I think I cut some audio out in a couple of them because I did have a few things to say about them. But right now, I'm going to just let it go to some of the natural audio that's in the videos. And I do appreciate and thanks everybody for watching and subscribing to me, all my subscribers. Thank you very much. Alright, there's a lot of things that I try to bring out, and the angle of light, where the sun is in the sky as I'm filming, whether it's behind me, in front of me, to the left of me, to the right of me, which would be, left and right would be north and south, all plays a role. Weather plays a role in it. I want to call it the planosphere, or the atmosphere plane, causes a lot of issues as far as the distortion. But I think this mirroring effect has a great deal to do with it, because it can enlarge the object out there, or it can make it smaller, or it can make it elongated. So you get different appearances of this bird rack, day by day, depending on the atmospheric conditions. But I also think that where it sits on that horizon line plays a big role, because that's where the concave convex mirroring occurs. And I believe that we actually have, a water mirror, and you have an atmosphere mirror, causing this convex concave mirroring effect out at that edge. So this is my opinion of it, because I've done so many observations of this bird rack. It's ridiculous. But again, tides play a role, wind plays a role, how rough it is, the water, or it could be very calm, causing actually more mirroring. And you can see this throughout all my videos. I know observations are sometimes boring as hell, but you can learn so much from your observations. It isn't even funny. So again, paying attention to that detail is a big thing for me. I try to pay attention to it and observe it, and then try to contemplate what's going on. Like, you see this boat in the background, where you just see the top of the boat. Well, actually, I got video where you can actually see the boat past this bird rack, which I think some of them in the very beginning of this showed that. And, you see the top of it, just the mast of the boat, but that's due to that mirroring, being on the edge of that convex concave mirroring. Now, I think it's just a big plane with this mirror causing the illusion of all this stuff out there, even the sunset. Because if you take a light and you put it on a convex concave mirror, you can actually duplicate that sunset, which I will try to do here in the near future. And some of this is really windy right here. This is why I cut this audio out. It's very loud. And then I've got some areas where it's nice and calm and quiet. And, this is the thing. Sometimes I can actually see really, really far on a very windy day. Even though my tripod is shaking and I've tried everything, it's the remote that I've got that actually does the shaking more than it is my tripod, because I've strapped the tripod down to the ground, put sandbags on it, everything, but it's that top part of the remote that does all that wiggling, which I don't mind, because I'm able to not have so much shaking as I reach out and touch the camera to zoom in or zoom out or focus it. It's still better than some of the stuff that I've had. Now, right at the beginning of that, you could see a light flickering, and that's probably just a crab trap sitting out there on that edge. But now look at the mirroring of this bird rack here, that green marker, how elongated it is. So again, paying attention to that detail makes a big difference. So again, continue to watch, and hopefully you see what I see. See a boat further out there. It's storming out there, so. Past that water line, it actually turns into a mirror effect. It's mirroring the boat underneath it, and that mirroring effect can't hide the boat, the bottom end of the boat. Now see, he's turning, gets past that bird rack, and then he turns. See, the boat's still. Nose is bouncing, the bow of the boat's bouncing. Now, on a lot of my videos, it's just not that bird rack that gives me, you know, the illusion that these boats are mirages or that they're coming over the curve. It's this mirroring effect that causes it. And a lot of my boat videos actually is proof of this occurring. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to start a big long series of a lot of my boat tracking videos. And, you know, you'll get familiar with the objects that are out there, these channel markers. Like in the morning time, you can actually see the numbers on these bird racks, but when the sun's on the other side of them, you can't see the numbers on them at all. Or you can see them, but not very good. And different atmospheric conditions cause different atmospheric problems. And I don't really like to call it an atmosphere. It should be an atmosphere, because that's what it is. We're looking at a plane. And I sped this up so you could actually see this boat, you know, coming into view, coming to the visible water plane, and he's on the mirrored water plane right now. So again, you know, I have proof of this all occurring, but, you know, for you to understand and you to see what I see, I think by me posting a lot of my videos will actually give you a different outlook on this horizon. You know, you'll see boats cut off when you should be able to see them, because other videos of mine show that you can see them at this distance. Other videos show them cut off, and you know, you can obviously tell that this boat is in the water. He's splashing up the water, and he's actually in front of that bird rack. Now the bird rack will get bigger and smaller, and I usually go full zoom on this bird rack to show all of this stuff. So again, you have to be the one that there's another boat, the judge. So again, I'm going to let this go back to audio. I'm talking over some of it, so I don't know how to stay on this one because I followed him for so long. All right. And this next part, he had a canopy on his. I used Dusk to dawn mode. There's another boat going to be catching up to this boat. Oh yeah, we got some boats going out again here today. Alright, there's part I want to bring up in this video right here. Now when you look out here, what you see is a couple of guys actually standing up in their boat where their boat is chopped off. And look at the size of them. And you see them standing up, bending back down, standing up, bending back down. This is, they're on that edge of that concavity, or concave, convex mirror. And even this bird, you see him flashing in and out as he's flying along. That was in front of that boat. Now, some of these videos, you might want to even go back and, look at them again. And even during the day, I find that sometimes the, the boat that I'm zooming into all of a sudden appears to be closer. No matter if I'm at full zoom, there goes a bird again. Full zoom, I get a full zoom on something. At one part of the day, it looks further out there, and then other parts of the day, it looks much closer. Is this atmospheric lensing or plane lensing? These signs, all of these things stand out differently. I had that one sign that I said, see the sign. I've got that one where it's obviously sitting in the water. And you don't get the mirroring on some days like you do other days. But the mirroring actually is further out on that edge. So depending on, again, where that light is in the sky, whether it's, in front of you, behind you, south or north of me, it gives you a different appearance of this horizon line, different times of the day. All these things play a role in it. It isn't just one factor. It's multiple factors that creates this effect out here. Now, people want to tell you it's a mirage, and you shouldn't, believe it. This is an illusion, or it's being popped up from the other side of the curve. That's all bullshit. And scientists have to know this, because I even researched mirage, and I found a little article on where they actually placed a mirror on a little bit of an angle at the end of their little experiment, and they got different results. Why? Because it is a mirror out there, and they know it. But they sure don't want you to know that you live on a plane, that you live in a plane of existence. They want you to think that you live in a ball of existence. Why? Ball, bow, Satan, Lucifer, I don't know. All this stuff, that the flat earthers bring out is very interesting. Now, I don't believe it all, but I have a lot of respect for a lot of these guys out there doing research. Rob Shakiba, Curious Life of a Flat Earther, Jeranism, definitely Jeranism. He's been in this from the beginning. Matt Powerland from NASA Channel. He was the one that kind of first opened my eyes up to this deception. Well, there was many things that brought me into flat Earth or into the lies that we've been fed for a long time. And, I don't know if some of these people are gatekeepers or whether or not they were out there for the goodness of us. Bill Cooper was one that brought a lot of things to light. He was actually one of the first ones that I listened to that really popped my eyes open. So again, I made this video to just show you mainly this bird rack and all of its different faces. So again, I leave it up to you to take into consideration this mirroring effect, and then do some experiments with it. That's what I'm going to do. I bought some of this reflective material. I'm going to make me a concave convex mirror, and then we're going to test some things and do some experiments on it. Or with it, I should say. So again, all these different faces that we got of this bird rack. Now, this particular day, I think it was like July 9th, or some of these are going to be from July 9th. It was a day that there was boat galore out there. And I mean, oh my goodness, could you get, I mean, I was actually confused on which boats to follow. So I tried to follow a bunch of them. But again, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the observations. And then, you have to, again, pay attention to a lot of the detail that's out there and keep in mind about this mirroring effect that I'm referring to. We got our own house, fun house of mirrors right there on that edge and above and below. And that's another way that you can look at some of these videos, as above, so below. When I zoom back and I give you a full view of where I'm videotaping, a lot of times you can see the mirror image of what you're looking at out in the distance, right in front of you below the item, object, or or the whole scenery that I'm videotaping. Again, I put some of these in fast motion, just to show you some of the boats, give you an idea that this boat is actually on the water, but he's on the mirror plane. He's on the mirrored water. And that mirrored water is just reflecting the sky, so it appears that this boat is flying in the air. But we know, of course, because of his wake that he's causing in the water, is getting up high enough to where my camera can resolve it. And then if you look at it, it's got that warped edge between the boat and the water. So again, I leave it up to you to use your own eyes and your own judgment and your own damn common sense to look at what I got to show. And like I said, I'm going to start a series of all my boat observations, my boat tracking, even maybe throw in some of my sunsets after I show you proof of some of the things that I'm saying with this mirror that I'm going to make. And then we'll leave it up to you as the viewer to decide for yourself, because I'm not trying to make you believe shit. It's up to you what you want to see with your own eyes, and you come to your own conclusions. I mean, these reflections are obviously being a mirror. So think about that mirroring effect, and I hope you, like I said, I hope you see what I see when you're viewing my videos.
Yeah, this is out of town. It's home.
Coming out of the mirror. See if he's heading this way. I got 12 minutes to find out. Either that or a dead battery. We'll find out. Getting low on my battery. Come on. One last shot.
bird rack that I'm always filming from
Yeah, see, it's marked out
Bayport.
there. I got it marked. Look what it says right there. There's the mileage right there.
I can't get in on that. I won't read it.
Alright, I took my boat out to this bird rack to give you a up-close view of it and show you how it really looks when it's right there, you know, 30, 40 feet from me, or actually closer, I believe. I probably was about 20 feet from it. But, you know, I wanted to let you see it firsthand. And when I marked it on my GPS and then marked it back, you know, tracked back a line to where I'm filming from, it is 4.2 miles, 4.3 miles, somewhere right in that range. So again, you know, here's a good video proof of what it actually looks like right up close. Okay, it was actually rough, and I took an ass beating in my flats boat to get out here. And here's a couple of pictures I put out of it from a little farther away. So again, you know, you be the judge of what you're seeing, and I'll just keep bringing you some good observations of this horizon, this mirroring horizon line. Thanks. Like, share, subscribe, and have a good day.